I forgot, man. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Jesus. Well, where are you going? Boston. 1375. Low to Boston. Here, you dick. I could charge you extra. Graffiti in the morning, the world turning. Brainstorming, for sure, a forewarning. Good morning, I'm soaring.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Good to see you back here in Boston. Hope the ride in wasn't too bad. All right, so this is going to be episode number 6. In today's episode, I want to now review everything we've talked about so far and really understand that this is the, primary foundation. This is the basis to creating new and positive structure and replacing our negative habits with now a good routine that's going to create good and positive habits. So think about when you were a kid, or even, if you have a kid right now, what's one of the things that you really want to instill in them? It's providing them with structure and discipline. I can think of when I was younger myself, I was always told this is the time you have to go to bed. This is the time you have to wake up. When you're, coming home from school, you're going to do your homework right after school. We're going to eat dinner normally at this specific time. And then if you have time after that, you'll go and, do something to relax, have fun, and then you shower before bed. But as I became an adult, I realized that myself and a lot of other grown-ups, we have no fucking routine at all. We just wake up and wing our day. We are like, okay, I have a bunch of things I want to get done, and hopefully I get them done today without other things interfering. It's not always the case. It's just, ironic that we grew up with structure, and a lot of us just are like, okay, I'm so over it. And I understand, I was very used to seeing routine as being boring, stifling, maybe even rigid, but I know I wasn't the only one that felt that way. A lot of us live our lives in a, whimsical manner, believing that by not having it, you feel more free. But, in the end, in retrospect, I realized I was, not adhering a path that was really providing me with the things I wanted, which was, freedom, productivity, happiness, and, living up to my potential. What I actually was feeling was stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and I clearly was not, reaching my goals and my true potential. So the answer to creating a more beneficial life, unfortunately, it might be hard to hear, but you're going to have to create a routine. You're going to have to take that initial step and figure out a routine that's going to work the best for you. And once you set this up, you're going to feel, more in control. You're going to be more productive. And I went through and I read about a bunch of different routines. I looked at, things that I thought were going to, make an impact for my life. And when I decided to come up with the podcast, this is why I specifically chose things that were very simple, like, for one, making your bed, one specific exercise, the plank, one specific meal that's going to help you feel better, eating eggs, one specific vitamin, the multivitamin. I wanted things that were very simple that I could introduce in a new routine, because once you, drill yourself into a routine, this is going to become a habit. Once you, create this habit for yourself, hopefully you're going to kick all the shitty habits that you had previously in your life. You're going to eat better. You're going to feel better from eating better and exercising and taking the vitamins, knowing that you're preventing other sicknesses that could, kick you off track from this, routine that you're building. I remember a specific time in college, I was eating so well and I was exercising like almost daily. I was grinding. I felt like amazing. But what happened was, even though I was doing that and I felt the best I had ever felt, I slacked on taking my vitamins. And what happened was cold and flu season came, and I got nailed with something I felt was like, a mix of the flu and strep. And I completely got sidetracked off of everything I had worked so hard for months. And as soon as I got over it, I remember they had given me some, I went to the doctor and they had given me some sort of antibiotics, and I took it. And I remember I started feeling better, and I was like, okay, well, I'm done now. Like, I want to get off these so I can, go back to my routine. And the antibiotics they were giving me were making me feel tired. So I was like, all right, I feel better. I'm done. I think I stopped like 2 or 3 days before I was done. And guess what happened? I felt great for another week, and then boom, it came right back again. I had to restart, and it fucked up my entire routine. Everything went down the toilet. So, jumping back, these routines that we set up are really important. They lay the foundation, the best basis for you to overall introduce change into your life in a positive way. So, one of the most important things is about having a routine is making yourself more efficient. So when you follow this routine daily, it's going to help reduce the need to make decisions. Some of us really struggle with making decisions. We want to take in everything we possibly can, and in doing so, it's a time waster. You're sitting there going, okay, well, I should do this, but at the same time, I also have to do this, and I'm trying to prioritize, and it's a waste. So create that plan. Sit down and go, okay, this is what I know I need to do, like every day, regardless of any other things. So these things are: one, when you eat, when you exercise, if you have medications or pills, these are the primary things you're going to have to say, these are like my number one importance to get done daily. Other things that are like, behind that is obviously doing laundry and maintaining a clean house or apartment. Yeah, those things definitely are important, but, your number one preference has to be yourself. If you don't have your health, you're not going to be able to do anything if you're sick and falling apart. So number one is you, making sure you're on top of yourself for creating a positive and meaningful routine that's going to allow you to take care of yourself first. Moving into the next point, I liked by having a plan in the first place. I didn't need to make any more plans. It reduced the need for that. Once I got into a routine after making my initial plan, I knew every day, okay, these are the activities, this is the budget, or this is the amount of time I can allocate to, whatever I do. And it doesn't even become a thought. It gives you that sense of freedom, in a sense that you're just like, okay, this is what I have to do. It's going to take me this amount of time. No big deal. It's going to get done. I've done it, for weeks now. It becomes like a second thought. There's no stress about it at all. Having a daily routine does provide the structure and logical sequence that we really do need in our lives. It provides a sense of a framework which, we live our lives and conduct our daily activities from. So, as soon as you become familiar and comfortable with what you have to do every day, it just, like I said, it really creates a sense of flow and freedom. It gets done, and there's no stress to it. It really helps you, save time, which is our most valuable resource. I can't emphasize this enough. Your time is something you will never be able to get back. So, with that being said, why waste it sitting there and dwelling on other things, making all these different plans? No, set up something that you're going to be able to stick to, and just stay with it. Because, like I said, time is so precious. You cannot get this back. So wasting it on unmeaningful things, unmeaningful tasks that, take you away from what you're trying to accomplish is not going to make you feel better. It's going to lead to the anxiety and depression that I had mentioned earlier. So don't even allow that to happen. Just make the routine, take the one time to set up some sort of prep plan, and then after that, you're going to be able to just decide, okay, these are the most important things. I've already predetermined my schedule, and now I can use my time efficiently. It's going to really start to, instill good habits, and you're going to see that right away. The secret to building good habits is repetition. Doing the same thing, over and over again is going to show you that it's like, okay, I've already built this routine, and now it's become a habit. Now this habit is, like I said, hopefully good. It's something that if you used what I've already talked about in the episodes, you're on the right track. But if you're trying to, unlearn some of these habits and make a change that goes against what you've already built, yeah, it's going to be tough. But by sitting down and making the plan, you're going to realize that it's like, okay, for example, your dentist tells you have shitty teeth, or you just don't brush and floss enough. Okay, so I really need to implement this. I sit down and I go, all right, I got to do XYZ every morning, and I can do it at this point. No big deal. Or even when I'm in the shower, or when I'm using the bathroom in the morning. Okay, boom. Now you've incorporated it into your schedule, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to get it done, because when you're in this particular area in the house or at this particular time, you're going to be like, okay, I incorporated it. I'm not even going to stress about forgetting it. I know when I go there, that's something I do while I'm, taking care of other things, and it's going to build that, good habit in you. Once you start building these good habits, you'll notice that the bad ones will slowly start dissipating, which is good. And then once they're fully eradicated from you, you're going to see that the potential that you have for continuously building on your good habits, it goes through the roof. Another point that I want to illustrate is when you have a routine, you really start to become better at doing certain things because you do it regularly. The key to mastering any skill, or something maybe that you're not even good at yet, is just continuously performing this task over and over again, especially if it's at some sort of time, or thinking back to the brushing teeth. Every time I go to the bathroom in the morning, I might as well just do it then, because I'm not going to eat yet, so I don't have to worry about any sort of excuses. I don't want to taste. I don't want that weird taste after I eat, or before I eat even. It'll just feel better. It's done. It's out of the way. So really, like I said, when you're setting up your routine, the beauty of designing a set routine is allows you to prioritize and decide what is the most important things, rather than, like I said, waste your time and decision-making skills on a daily basis. You just know what you need to get done. You do it, no problem. Another thing is, too, I noticed once I built a routine, I reduced procrastination. I started building momentum, and my self-confidence and just confidence in general went through the roof. Which each set of tasks and activities that became more routine in my life, I reduced, the chance of procrastinating. It just became so ingrained in who I was. Like, for example, making the bed, that it was just like no second guess, no second thought to it. I just got up, boom, done. Then I'd go to the restroom. Then once I was in the restroom, then that's when I was like, okay, gotta brush my teeth now. And there was nothing to take me off of that, like looking at my phone. I was like, okay, I'm going to look at my phone. I'll check my social as I used to do first thing when I woke up. But instead, by, looking at social and procrastinating, I was just wasting my own time and not getting the stuff done, which would lead to me being forgetful. Once I started building a, momentum by doing this, it just made it so much easier to consistently persist and doing it. And then that's what built momentum for doing other things, like working out every single morning. And when I was able to build that momentum, you get to a point where you're like, I feel so much more confident. I feel, tremendously satisfied with the results I'm getting done in these, aspects of my life. And it just provided me like a sense of like fuel to continue on my routine and continue to reap benefits that were associated with it. And I know having a lack of self-confidence is, the main reason why people find it difficult to change things in their lives, especially if it's, for the better. So once you are able to set that plan, you're going to reduce your procrastination, you're going to build the momentum, and then it's going to give you that, better self-confidence to, push away those negative thoughts, and you're going to be able to get this change. No one's going to be able to tell you you're not. Once you, really drill those two in, don't worry about anyone that's telling you no. You're like, fuck this, I got it. There's nothing getting in my way. And once you really, get to that point, you're going to realize that you really do feel less stressed. You're going to feel more relaxed as well, which is just, it goes hand in hand with feeling confident. There's always things in our lives that are beyond our control, and we do need to accept that. However, like I talked about in episode number 1, I realized by writing down the things that I, wanted to control or have some sort of control over, that there was actually more things that I was control of because of, writing them down, and also realizing that I was like, okay, these are the ones that I want and I don't have yet. How do I incorporate that? And it was simple as adding them into a routine. And when I designed that, I stuck to it, and I eliminated the stress and the worry of getting these things done. The simple act of doing gives you such a great sense of control, and I'm telling you, you're going to feel so much more relaxed because you just know it's going to get done. There's no doubts anymore, and doubts are, like I said, coming from not having the self-confidence. It's just going to get done. There's no sort of worry that crosses your mind at that point, and it's a fucking great feeling to just be like, okay, I got rid of this. Something I'm going to talk about in a different episode is, negative thoughts, how to control it, how to, kind of push them to the side. One thing that I had learned recently, and like I said, this is going to be for another episode, but I'll touch upon it now, is there is a certain part of our brain that is unfortunately very hyper-focused on negativity. Even the most positive people, this is something that is in every single person's brain. We have not evolved from this yet. And this dates back to like the hunting and gathering days. But by doing this, you're going to be able to separate yourself. This is like a huge, important step along with the others. I just wanted to, throw those out to you in the beginning as little things that hopefully you would start and say, okay, this is already helping. Another thing that, I realized was great about having a routine is that I was able to be more aware of, saving money. I just was able to create some sort of routine where I knew this is what I'm going to do. So on this day, I'm not going to go out and spend money. I know I've already bought my groceries. I don't need to go out and buy food, or I don't need to go out and buy dinner at work. But at least I was able to go like, okay, just in case if I'm at work and something changes or I get food, no big deal. But I'm not going out of my way and spending any extra money. I've already taken care of what I needed to. And sometimes it happens. I'll go into work. I've already brought a meal. I was like, okay, cool. I spent my money. And then somehow I end up with like, food at work that's not even that bad for me. And I'm like, cool, now I get to save this meal, and it, saves me from having to make a meal maybe tomorrow. So it's just, something to throw in there that I thought was, pretty interesting, that having this, habit allows you to get in the routine of maintaining and managing your money a lot better. So the last couple things I want to talk about is, like I said, you'll see that you're going to start to reach your goals. These little tasks add up. They keep adding up, and then you're going to be like, wow, I'm actually reaching the goals. I'm accomplishing the things that I, thought would take a lot longer to do because I've just been on a good routine. I've had good habits. I've stuck with them, And now here I am. I'm reaching my goals. This little bit of work keeps pushing you forward. Instead of saying, oh, well, I'll do it, and, procrastinating and say, I really just need to, learn everything before I start. No, just get in there and start it. That's the most important thing. From, everything my coach said when I was training MMA, there's two things that really help people out. One is just fucking doing it, and number two is to consistently do it. Even on the days you don't want to show up. Just show up. But you even just dragging your ass there and being like, I'm, tired and I can't put in the 100%. You're putting in, say, 5%, bare minimum. Like, the absolute worst you could put in is, 5%. Just going through the motions. But going through the motions that day are better than you skipped that day and you stayed your ass in bed and you did nothing. You learned something that day. You can at least walk away and be like, I didn't learn shit, or I did learn something, but at least I got a workout in. So it's really going to help perpetuate and keep you on track to obtain and achieve your goals. Developing and sticking with a routine is, congruent with your goals, and is one of the surest ways to ensure success. To wrap things up with the very last thing that I wrote down here, keeping track of your success. When we slack off and when we fail to follow our, predetermined routine, it's a clear sign that we are falling short. It's an excellent way to monitor your progress and what you're doing, but you are allowed to subsequently make adjustments and get back to following your personal routines. Just by, writing it down, having it on your phone. So, making some adjustments here and there, especially if you feel like things aren't working for you, that's still fine. Just don't give up and don't not show up and stop trying. That's where you completely, lose it. So keep in mind, it's fine if you decide you only want to follow your routines on weekends and not days. That is still progress. Don't beat yourself up and say, oh, well, I'm not doing it enough. That is a step you have to take. You have to decide what's right for you and what's right for your life. So even by doing it one day, good. Because there's other people out here that are doing it 0 days. Michael Jordan said a quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think that's pretty simple to understand. If you're not taking a fucking shot, you're not going to succeed. So take the shot, make a routine, stick to it, change it, edit it, make it work for you. But don't just throw it away and go, okay, I'm all set. This sucks because I can't do it like everyone else. Don't allow what others are doing to rob you of what you need to do and what you need to get done. Focus on yourself and really, like I said, determine what works for you in your life. If you have kids, if you have a job or you're required to work a certain amount of hours, more so than normal, just make something that allows this routine to become a conscious choice in your life. And it's really going to show you after you implement it that you're going to feel so much more successful and so much happier. Each of us has obviously different goals, needs, desires, and resources, but, this is why it's so important to develop our routine after, carefully deciding what you are trying to achieve in your life. And once you do this, the rewards that you're going to reap are definitely worth the effort. And to wrap it up, today is a brand new day. It is never too late to start a routine that will set you in motion for the rest of your life. So with that, I want to thank everyone for listening. Until next episode, and keep vibing. I'll catch you guys later.